Hello once again, Star Wars Unboxing fans. Welcome to a really exciting episode of Darth Tuba Star Wars Unboxing Show. I'm your host, Darth Tuba. I'm sorry, I'm so excited because a playset has arrived. A throne room playset, a Boba Fett throne room playset that I ordered like maybe a year and a half ago. It's crazy, I know, right? But what a difference. I mean, look, kids. I'm sorry to sound like the old man here, but in my day, you'd go into a toy store. If you wanted a toy, you'd go into a toy store. There would be a wall of Star Wars toys. This is the 70s and 80s. And they had what's called a planogram. And they would have all the figures lined up over here, and all the small vehicles here, and all the medium vehicles here. And then at the bottom, lined and across, would be the big vehicles. And of course, you wanted the big vehicle. But the big vehicle was like a whopping $39.99, which $39.99 in 1970s and 80s dollars was hundreds of dollars today. So might as well have been. So you wished and wished and wished, but maybe on Christmas morning if you were lucky, which I was. I was very fortunate. And Christmas morning I could go. I always tell this story. It's everybody's life. Sorry for my mic's not picking me up. Everybody's life is different. Okay, and yes, I know my life. I'm very blessed, and I'm very grateful for my life. I'm very grateful for the things that have happened. Not to get all, emotional here, but, something about Star Wars that is good for me is that, and for many people, it gave them an escape from reality of their childhood. And while there were moments of my childhood that I liked to escape from, my family wasn't one of them. My brother, my mom, and my dad. We were a very tight-knit, and still are. My father has since passed away, but we had wonderful family memories, and one of those memories was how my birthday and Christmas morning were almost 6 months apart, and that was always nice for a kid because twice a year, almost evenly, I would have a great day where there would be a few presents under the tree or a few presents on the kitchen table. That the morning I woke up and there would be something there for me. And from 1978 through 1984 or 5, those 7 or 8 years, there was always some Star Wars connection. And I can remember Christmas morning going down and seeing the huge silvery packages and unboxing the Death Star or the Millennium Falcon or a TIE Fighter or an X-Wing. And it's just such a happy memory. And later in life, when I realized that my father, at the time, as an adult, I learned that my father was working as a salesman in New York City during those times. And what happened was he didn't get paid sometimes until Christmas Eve, or rather, he didn't get a Christmas bonus until Christmas Eve. Now, my father was a good salesman. I mean, he was. Some people use the expression, my father was so good at selling, he could sell fire in hell. Or, ice in the Arctic. So it was nice that my father was good at what he did, and as a result, he would get a decent Christmas bonus. But a lot of times, if he was having a slow year or just, their bills were tight in other areas, money was used to pay the bills, right? Like it is for everybody. But we got that Christmas bonus on Christmas Eve. Because kids, a lot of times people work on Christmas Eve, and that's when they get their bonus, if there's a bonus at all to get. And he would receive it, he'd go cash his check, and he would go right to Sell Right Toys in Paramus. And that's where he would pick, because I was on his way home from the city into where I lived. And he would pick up from me and my brother our Christmas gifts. And then we'd go to bed, and Santa miraculously left those presents under the tree. So it's a happy memory. I always loved that about my father, because he was a good dad. He worked hard at his job, but he worked hard at being a good dad too. He disciplined. He was, he didn't always. If I did something wrong, he let me know it, and I tried not to do it wrong again. But he did it in a good, safe, correct way. And there aren't a lot of people like my father. So when I think of Star Wars and it makes me happy, it's because of my father. My parents, they raised me well, and I'm very appreciative of both of them. And Star Wars was just one of many facets of what we've done. So here we have kind of like a revisit to those nostalgic days when they used to make playsets. And this is the Boba Fett throne room playset. It's also something that could just be Jabba's throne room playset. You can flip it either way. So why don't we just get this thing out of the box? I'm sure you really want to see that and not my silly stories. All right, let me do this here. Okay, I'm gonna try to do this without knocking. This is kind of big. Now, it's interestingly enough, I would have gambled that this would have been a HasLab project. I really did. I thought this was going to be, and inside this box is another box. And I'll take that box and I'll mail that box to myself. And when that box arrives, I will smash it with a hammer. Anybody know what that's from? I gotta be careful here because I do have a... Up we go, up we go, up we go. Boom. Another box. But for those of us planning on keeping this protected in the box, it's nice to have a box inside a box. But I am going to open this. I might keep the box because wait till you see the box for us vintage collection fans. Here we go again. I feel like we just did this. Oh. It's just art. It's a piece of art. Look at this. Book of Boba Fett, but in the vintage art. Star Wars, a vintage collection. Boba Fett's throne room. Fett. Oh, just incredible. And there you gotta look at all the pieces it comes with. Oh my god, we're talking Barbie Dreamhouse here version, which I love and hate at the same time because I know I'm gonna lose something. And there he is. Oh. Just beautiful. And frankly, I'm not gonna be like other collectors and other people that say, Hasbro, why can't we have this all the time? No, Hasbro, this is special. Okay, this is very special. Take your time. You could do another one in 2-3 years maybe. Take your time because this was expensive. Of course, not as expensive as the Ghost, but I know the Ghost is going to be even bigger, so I get it, you know. But anyway, if I can like flip this around so you can see the. Here's some of the photos. Again, very much in the style of the old vintage collection, the real vintage collection from the 70s and 80s with little action poses there, right? And you got Boba Fett there, and you got the throne. Now, I don't know if they actually show this. Let me flip it around. There you can see there's Boba! There's Bib Fortuna. Okay? But I believe that they have said that if you'd like, you can take one of the many Jabba daises that came with the 3 3/4 inch versions that they've released through the years. I think they're releasing one this year, and that should fit on here as well if you would like to, instead of it being a Book of Boba Fett throne room, which I can understand. I mean, that's a newer show. Not everybody's going to resonate with that as well, but still, there's some cool stuff, and you can actually see the throne is right there. So, oh my goodness! All right, so I'm gonna take these boxes out of. There's more little boxes. I am not going to show me putting this whole thing together. I am going to do it. I'm not even. Well, oops. I keep my errors in there, folks. Come on. All right. All right. So this is kind of cool that I think this is part of the whole idea about not having a lot of plastic. So, but this is nice. It comes with your nice old-timey instruction book. And then you have 3 boxes here, right? One thin one. Looks like This includes, okay, you've got your Bib Fortuna action figure. And before I do anything, I just want to look at this and see, and really hope, and really, really, really hope, and by the way, I'm really hoping, VC 276. I am hoping that they release Bib Fortuna as a separate figure. Until then, I will keep Bib Fortuna with the set, but in the card. And then once it's released, if they release a separate figure, I will then take one out of the package. But for now, it will remain. But also, we've got lots of things here. We've got monkey lizards on spits. We've got all sorts of little tiny things. Not even sure how much of this I'm going to put out. I'll put some of it out. But okay, let me put this here. And then this one, I just love the art. They could have just put 3 plain boxes, but they decided to give us a little, illustration, which I very much appreciate. All right, because let's face it, okay, this is mainly just the archway, which we will put together. Okay, it doesn't look like, seeing as how the instructions are basically just 1, 2, 3 pages long. I don't think this is going to take too long, but I am going to put it. What I'm going to do is I'll put it on high speed in a moment, and then you can see we put it together. Then I'm going to quickly transfer it to. I already have a space put out for it. I'm very excited. And then this looks like all the other stuff. And yeah, they're sticking to the no plastic packaging thing, which in the case of this, I'm happy about. It'll make things go a lot quicker. So let me go to high speed, and you can see me put this together, and then I'll set it up on there. I don't know if I have any. I have a couple. I think I might grab a few of Jabba's sail barge characters and transfer them over, so you can just so I have a little bit there. All right, there it is. Now, I took some liberties. Rather than opening up the Bib Fortuna, I wonder if I can get some more light here. Hang on a minute. Rather than opening this one up, okay, as I said, I'm going to wait and see if they release it loose as a figure, or sorry, not loose, but as a separate figure, and if I can get a second one without having to pay hundreds and hundreds of dollars to separate it from the playset, I'll be more than happy to put the more chunky, bloated, lazy Bib Fortuna. But for now, I will tell the story as if it was the first found out, escaped from Jabba's katana, blown up ship. Bib Fortuna, still fit as a fiddle, and decides, and he just installed the throne and had all of his food set up. And there's some guards and and a Gamorrean, Ifant Mon, and a few other denizens that maybe weren't on the barge. I know, I'm sure they probably were. There's in the back. There's a couple more there. There's Yak Face, right? So overall, really cool. You can see in the back there we've got our Kowakian monkey lizard on the spit. There's also a piece of meat under the table there that you can switch it out for if you want. A bunch of drinks and things. I will say that I appreciated that for some of these trays or things like this over here, they actually had little indentations. I don't know if you can make that out. Yeah, I can show it down here. They actually had little indentations that you can put the drinks in, so they'll stay. They don't stay fully well, but they stay pretty well. So it's an awesome piece. I wouldn't really call it much of a playset. I think it's really more of a, just a display piece for your figures, which is fine. I'm all for that. The thing is that I haven't really been unboxing any of the Book of Boba Fett figures, so I just figured I would take some loose Return of the Jedi figures and kind of put them in place for now. But if I do get another, but I am going to be on the lookout for another one of these guys, so I can put the big bloated Bib Fortuna here, or maybe a second Boba Fett figure that I can get him in here. I do have a retro loose one. Maybe I can put that in for now, but this kind of looks nice. So I think I'll keep this as it is. It's got, just, there's not a lot of play features. All right, it's just got a lot of accessories. I will say that this entire thing rolls out forward and back like the Jabba stage throne does do. So if you want to put your Jabba on here, you just have to remove the little seat throne, which it just sits on top of there, so it's really good. Overall, an awesome piece, a great piece of display, and something I don't know if I'm going to part with if I want to keep a hold of some of my loose figures in the future, because it's just such a beautiful piece. It's not too big. I have my one shelf here. I was expecting it to take up a little bit more room, so what I might do, in fact, I think I might just make a quick setup here, switch up here, so hang on one second. There we go. All right. I've totally blown up the universe here. I have created a Jabba's dungeon, or Jabba's palace without Jabba. Still some of these characters. Little Bib Fortuna alone, but then we've got Han Solo in Carbonite with a Jawa and a couple of droids, and yeah. We're all out of the time warp here. We're in the world between worlds, folks. That's what I'm going to call it. The world between worlds. But this works nicely on one space, and it actually frees up a little room over there where the katana is. I can show you kind of behind the thing there. All right, so, you do what you can with the space you got. That's all you can say. All right, so that'll do it for this episode, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Great piece, still available. I'm sure after a while they'll put it on discount, but I'd say get it now, because if we want to have any hope of getting these play sets again in the future, we really need to make purchases when they're not on sale. So I hope you guys will consider it. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time. Check out all the other Red 5 content. And thank you, Red 5, for supporting the channel. Until next time, may the Force and the toys be with you. Boom, dum, 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 dum.